Hello. Hi, Nox. Oh, yeah. I played in Curly Haired Heroes Discord locals for premium format with CHRONOFANG Tiger. Now let's see how that went. After playing in standard format with Varga last week going 2-2, the following week was premium locals and I decided to attend that. But instead of doing something meta like a Grand Blue Neo Nectar, something like that, I decided to do something funny and play CHRONOFANG Tiger, one of my favorite units ever to come out in the game, that I just want to make good in some capacity. I've been homebrewing this deck for about 3 months now. This is the list I took to Vancouver BCS, and ultimately we went 2-2, and here is how I prepped for the event. So what does CHRONOFANG Tiger do? What does the deck do? Specifically, CHRONOFANG Tiger is just another one of those V stride up grade 3s in the V series. He is meant to go into Chrono Tiger Rebellion. So what we do is if we go first, we just ride Fang, go straight to Rebellion to really push an aggressive gameplay style. With Rebellion and Fang's skill to discard a card to gain a crit and a drive. Realistically, with Rebellion's skill, we aim for the 3 or less part of the skill and not the 1 or less, because the 1 or less is really demanding. And in my testing, V Nani isn't really worth it in this deck. You need too many pieces. That's basically what it is. But if you're in a really bad spot or you're in a situation where you know you can kill, the 1 or less ability is really good just to reduce the guard value, and you're able to really hammer out the game and just secure it from there if you get to that point. But what do we do if we go second with CHRONOFANG? What's the game plan? What are we aiming to do if we go second? And specifically, we do it for the name CHRONOFANG. Now, the big payoff with the CHRONOFANG name right now is Nani, OG Nani. This card plays way similar to Anachronus in Odium, just saying, coming out of the bind zone, the regress gauge, you understand it. Comes out after the Vanguard swings, and it's just another attacker, and it scales off the bind zone. It's a nice resource when we're not doing a Shalishima turn or we're out of Shalishimas. Now, there are other cards that require the CHRONOFANG name, however, pull the curtain back, I'm waiting for cards to come in the mail. We'll talk about the cards I'm planning to add later, and there will be a deck profile, not in this video. But another part of the game plan is we tried to toolbox the bind zone and make it as big as possible. And the payoff cards is Nani, it's the Steam Maiden Cat, and we run 1 copy of Elul. Elul is our big beat stick, and it enables our Shalishimas in the G zone. It enables it's a good like beat stick that we can find with our time leap shenanigans. Elul, all in all, is just a very solid card, even as a rear guard. It's a very nice one of, and as you saw on my stream game in Vancouver, I had to write Elul and do nothing. It was awesome. And one way that we tried to facilitate our bind zone really well is with Entrana. And because we're Gear Chronicle, we're able to time leap into this really easy, and we have cards like the Ride Fixer to help get the Entrana out even easier. This is basically 3 more copies of Entrana in the deck. These two together, they're really good at what they do, at just like helping us start farming our advantage turn 2. And if our hand has 2 grade 1s or just a 1 and a 0 I'm willing to put down, we just need 1 counterblast to have Entrana live and just start facilitating our bind zone and farming our hand way better. For the bind zone, we also run the classic Mellum TikTok package, just Mellum into TikTok, and if we're lucky to have a TikTok out, Mellum with the TikTok so we can bind the Mellum and get a grade 2 that will help us feed our bind. The main grade 2 target when we time leap is Naboo. Grade 1's becoming Naboo is awesome because we get to put whatever we want in the bind zone, which is very helpful, as well as just more card draw and its soul. Fun ways of removal we have is Exclude Dragon. This card is sick. Vanguard rear guard. When it attacks a Vanguard, you can counterblast 1, bind 1 of your rear guards, and you choose one of the opponent's rear guards that's the grade less than the unit did, and you just bot deck it. If you bot deck something, you draw 1. This card can clear board like a mother. This card's, it's such a funny inclusion. It's one of the easiest, just like Honolly removals, mist off removals, just anything pesky. You can bind Shalishima on the rear guard to get rid of a grade 3, which is also just awesome. And it's just a resource engine. I will draw a lot of cards off of Exclude because I'll call it or I'll time leap into it, bind it with the Shalishima that's swinging Van, call it back out, it's live again. It's just, it fills up our bind zone with cards we want gone, and it's just very helpful. And one key card I have to mention is the VG Guard promo. This card is one of the best ones, and because we fill up our bind zone so fast, the whole effect is live. Whereas most decks, they just want to flip G guards for whatever reason, for their crest scaling, yada yada. We actually have the opportunity to use it as a G guard or a big shield. This thing, it's a 35k shield when you play it. It's insane. Yeah, without this card, some turns we just kind of die. We just die. It's saved my bacon more than once, and I'm really glad to have it. There was a version where there were 3 being played, but it's too much. Some big players to mention in the G zone, we have Shalishima, 3 copies. This card is just bonkers. It's like one of the best Gear Chronicles strides, period. This is the main way to toolbox our bind zone right now, just because we get to call 2 of anything we want. Another stride to mention is History Build Dragon. Specifically, if we're bricking to some degree, it's our way to not shotgun a Shalishima. In my testing with it, it's actually been really helpful even as a first stride, just to time leap one thing, because if you can time leap one thing into whatever card you want, you're set. You're setting up your whole turn, basically. It's a very good card, and two more cards to talk about, but they're kind of the same thing. First off, it's Chrono Tiger Rebellion, the Stride version. This card doesn't come up too often. You mainly go into it if you're into a Mega Colony matchup, because you're not able to call cards, and this deck doesn't really call from hand. So you just do it to have a big attacker. 4 drives and a crit is just, you're asking for a lot when you do that, and it scales off the bind zone also, 5k for every 2. It's basically Impaldio. And then the final one to talk about, we run Chronovisor Heritage in the deck. Just extra turn, we run enough Zodiac Time Beasts. This current build, we're on 6. And now with the mini deck profile on the way, well, let's talk about what happened in the tournament. We went 2-2 in this one also. We're just the X2 king at this point. I was really happy with the results. You know, luck happened in one of my losses. The other one was just my misplay. Hey, you should like and subscribe. I appreciate it. I make some standard and premium content. You should follow that. Round 1, I went against Zena. They do have a YouTube. They make Lyrical Monasterio videos. They were playing an Angelist, not Highlander, an Angelist. But just so you know, if this isn't Highlander, I don't know half of your cool. I don't know half of your cards. It actually was pretty scary. I put them to 5 really quick, just because Shalishim turns and just like the Entrana early game, the grade 2 is really good. They almost came back in the game because just heals and defensives. I got real scared. But all in all, we clutched the game in just because Shalishima is just a really good stride, and we saw all the pieces. We're Gear Chronicle, we see all the pieces anyway. But it was a really good game. I had fun with it. Round 2, I went against Cecilia, Crest Cecilia with the reverse. The opponent was really good. I had a really fun time into them. It came down to, I had 1 PG in my hand, and they hit OT, so, you know, it didn't matter either way. I was at 5, and it was a blessed favor, so there was a crit. I really like playing Cecilia reverse. I played it before Cat got unbanned, so it was just nice seeing where the deck was now that it has its own crest, and it has access to Cat. Just fun game all in all. Round 3. Okay. I'm gonna promise I'm not gonna have a crash out like last time.
I hate that so much, man. It's such a dumb deck. I need Mo Flash banned now, please.
I went against Crest Harry. And people not in the know right now, Crest Harry, it's a dumb deck. It's giving crest scaling to an Excel clan. You're messing around a lot. One thing people are really learning with Pale Moon now that it has a crest is Pale Moon is a crazy clan, and the only thing holding it back was no power gain. And so now that it has power gain, people are now seeing like just how much farm you can do, and just the tutoring, the multi-attack. Oh my god, just like Misdirection's a crazy card, and you have D cards like oh, I don't know the name of it. It's the dragon. It's a double rare. It'll be right here. Big beaters on top of big beaters. The crest scaling goes crazy. People are really learning how crazy Dark Lord Princess is, along with Harry Stride. The Yvette turns are also crazy because it flips another one and gives you another gift. It does a lot. There's so many attacks. Oh my god. If you're not a crest deck, you are going to be really lucky if you can make it past the second stride turn. I was not that lucky of an individual because I had to G-assist that game, and I just had nothing. Like my Shalishima turn, I had nothing to do, and oh man, I tried to farm with an Urwater, and I'm like, they're not gonna do the G guard that gets rid of my standing rears. Nah, they will not do that.
You don't have any in the back row, right?
No back row.
Okay. Here's a Flexion Chimera.
Anyway, they did it. Yeah, no, I got skill issued. I G assisted. That whole game could have played different. Outside of me needing to G assist, I could have played that game like just different. I don't know how different, because you know what's 12 attacks to a deck that had everything, you know. This game was also on Curly's stream, and so that makes it 3 times now where I've played CHRONOFANG on a stream and just brick like crazy. Oh my god, this deck does not want to perform in front of people, I swear to god. Round 4, I played into another Cecilia Crest with Cecilia Reverse. This one went a lot better. Their whole first stride turn, I did everything. I guarded everything. I think I went to 4 or 5. I don't know if I was gonna win the game without sacking, but my triple drive was just a bunch of triggers, so it really skewed the game in my favor. Good quick win. So after the tournament, I went 2-2 again. This time I got 8th. I didn't have as crazy a tiebreakers, but what's funny is looking at it, the two of the people I played into, the 2 people I lost to, are both on top, are 6th and 7th. Woo! Overall, it's really fun. I love Premium so much. I have way more fun than Standard. I have many more good thoughts about Premium than Standard. So just whenever I get to play it, it's a fun time. There will be a CHRONOFANG deck profile whenever, because I'm going to talk about this locals, Vancouver. But yeah, we're not going to spoil the list until until the video comes out. But here's the deck that I played in the event, if I didn't show it already. We won't show the official list until that deck profile comes out. It's gonna have a lot of thought into it, stuff like that, so stay tuned for that. Until then, that's the end of this Discord locals. Be sure to check out Curly Haired Hero and his Discord. He's awesome for setting up these tournaments, and I hope more people are thinking about joining them. Be sure to check out the Discord in the description, and just look at the schedule to see what locals you want to do, because he alternates between Standard and Premium. But with that out of the way, that's the end of this Discord locals. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.